Well, good evening everybody and welcome to our webinar. My name's Susan Mai and I'm the Promotional Marketing Manager here at Neways. I'm happy to introduce tonight Tony Frame, double and crystal diamond from Queensland, who's going to be talking to us about Diamond Adventure. Now, as successful cattle owners of a large Queensland property, Tony and her husband Peter know what it is to work hard and the importance of facing challenges in a united manner. As a result of 9 years with Neways, Tony's an example of dynamic leadership, not only through her many outstanding achievements, but also through her constant actions, encouraging, coaching and supporting many of her rising leaders and members to step up and achieve their goals. So there's no one better to talk to us tonight and cover the topic Get Set for Diamond Adventure Mauritius 2015. So it's over to you, Tony.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for that, Susan, and for those kind words. It's great to be on the webinar tonight to share some experiences. Very, very excited to share some, the bits and pieces that I've learned over the last 9 years. Peter and myself qualified for Diamond Adventure in Vietnam probably 6 or 7 years ago. So that was very exciting. And then the last Diamond Adventure, we had 3 businesses qualify for Borneo. So I just wanted tonight I just want to share some bits and pieces that we've learned and that we've, talk towards our team in qualifying for Mauritius. So here we go. So the first slide here, doesn't that look fantastic? And I wanted to talk tonight about dreams come true. That's what they do, that's why dreams are put in our heart, is so that they do come true. The only variable is when, and if you're listening to the webinar, that means that you've got a dream to go to Mauritius. And we can look at some approaches. So dreams do come true. That's what they do. The only variable is when. So we won't dwell on this part of it too much. For the slow approach, you can resist change. You can be attached to outcomes. You can deny things, people saying yes or no. You can stop. You can... if you stop, it'll definitely be a slow approach, all right? You can second guess, which means you're just judging other people. You're guessing what they might be thinking. You can whine, argue, defend, protest, cry, and struggle. And you can ask others when you know the answer yourself. And I think a big question that you can ask yourself is how can I qualify for Mauritius? Because our subconscious mind has an amazing ability to answer questions itself, and then you've just got to be open to listening for the answers. So yeah, make sure that you ask the how questions. How can I qualify for Mauritius? How can I, get more people using the products in my team? How can I add more people into my team? So that's for the slow approach. So we don't want to go that way, because that approach you won't get there. So for the quick approach, this is what we want to concentrate on today. The first and foremost is to visualize. Now I'm going to talk about each section later on, but I'm just going to run through these now. So definitely to visualize. I was chatting with someone today and she said, I really have to work on visualization because, I've never done much visualization. And I said to her, you're a successful camp drafter. You've visualized yourself putting a beast around a camp draft course. Well, this is exactly the same, so you have visualized in the past, and now you can visualize whatever you want to achieve, whatever your goals are, you can visualize those. You can pretend, you can prepare, you can affirm, and you can dodge. Dodging's good. You can dodge those Murphys because if you've ever listened to Murphy's Committee, and it's probably a really good CD to go back, Jerry Clark's Murphy Committee. It might be a good idea to just go back and listen to Murphy's Committee before the qualifying period starts, just to let you know that, you know, things will come at you to try and stop you. You know, the cows will want to keep dragging you back. They don't want you to go to Mauritius. So it's really important to dodge the Murphys. Do not waver over intentions, but over methods. So if something's not working, then you might have to change what you're doing, but never change your intention. And show up even when nothing's happening. You know, that's a big thing, is even though it might not look like it's happening into our external senses, but if we've actually truly set the goal and we have faith that it's going to happen, then things are happening underneath the surface that we can't actually see yet. So it's really important to show up and keep on showing up even when the outside circumstances don't look like anything's happening yet. And the last one there is give thanks in advance, and that's pretty important. So as you go through the slides, you'll see some pretty pictures of Mauritius and maybe some hints on things that we might be doing while we're over there. So if you go to the next slide, we're just talking about visualization, you know, and I just want to really talk about some pretty practical things that might be able to help you. Now, some of you listening, you know, might have visualization down pat, and that's fantastic. But like myself before, I didn't think I visualized my goals very much before, but now I make a conscious effort every single day, and it's part of the daily disciplines, to actually visualize what I want to achieve. Now, I've got these couple of photos up here. These are photos from Borneo, and what we've got here is Sandy and Grant, who were our first qualifiers, and Peter and myself, and this is at the airport before we left. And so I just wanted to put that up because you can visualize, you know, you being there with your upline leaders, your upline diamonds, and you can visualize sitting around waiting at the airport for, you know, waiting to hop on the plane. So if you know of other qualifiers that have qualified in the first qualifying period, right, and you're friends with them, and you're from around about the same place, well, you can visualize being at the airport with them and maybe having a few farewell drinks on the flight over. So Steph, that's why I put that one there. The other one here is visualize having another one about the team, you know, so these were our qualifiers at Borneo, and so, you know, visualize doing a lot of stuff together as a team, but then also down here with this, you know, sitting out having a few drinks in front of the ocean, you know, visualize, you know, there's, you know, with other diamonds and just mingling and being part of the whole New Ways community. It doesn't matter on rank. You know, when you go to a diamond adventure, it doesn't matter what rank you are. You're part of Team Mauritius, and if you're part of Team Mauritius, you're included in everything, and that means, you know, diamonds aren't special people at all, and so being there as a qualifier is just really good fun. That's all I can say there. And here, you know, visualize yourself in a pool, just chilling out, which is what I was doing there. So, you know, there's a lot of things that you can visualize. I know when I'd set a goal to put a pool in here at home, and I used to visualize me diving into the water. And so you can do that sort of thing. Visualize yourself diving into the pool at Mauritius. So they're all really important things. Of course, a dream board is really important. You know, so it's about putting up these pictures of Mauritius onto a dream board. I just want to say that when we qualified for Vietnam and we were there, and I had a 7-week-old baby with me, so Malcolm was 7 weeks old, and it was pretty tiring, you know, the trip over there with a 7-week-old, and Pete and I sort of unpacked, and then we headed out to the beach because the beach was right there at the resort, and we were sitting underneath this, you know, what do you call it, shade, you know, a coconut palm shade sort of thing, I don't know what you call it. And Kathleen and Alan Wormsley walked out, and they were qualifiers as well, and they walked out, and she said, oh my God, she said, this picture here of, you know, the deck chairs underneath this shade thing looking out onto the ocean, she said, that's on my dream board. So it was just a picture of, you know, a random beach setting, but it happened to be the same setting as we were in Vietnam. So that's how powerful vision boards are. So definitely recommend that. With visualization, you know, what I try and do, and this is why I wanted to be really practical with you guys tonight, is just to, you know, well, some of you might be saying, well, how do I visualize? And I just wanted to share how I visualize. I just sort of sit back in a comfy chair and I just, you know, breathe in and out deeply for, you know, probably 6 breaths. And then I count backwards very slowly as I'm breathing deeply from 10 down to 1. And then I just, like I'm walking into a room, you know, in Born Rich where he talks about the room where you walk in and it's your room of images. Well, I look in there and I've got, I imagine that there is these big wall paintings, you know, big photo or, you know, big frames, picture frames on the wall, and each one of those picture frames is a visualization of a certain goal of mine. So for you guys, it could be you could walk into the room of images and you could see, you know, just like I said, yourself diving into the pool, or, you know, having a few drinks around the bar, you know, plenty of cocktails, that sort of stuff, you know. So, and each one of those photo frames is a different image. So that's how I do it. And I just thought that for those people that aren't sure or aren't not sure about it, then that might just give you a few hints and tips. So that's all I use. It usually only takes me 5 to 10 minutes to do that. Sometimes when I've got more time, I will do the full Bob Proctor visualization, but that sort of takes 22 minutes or something like that. So I just thought I'd share that on visualization. But very, very important. It won't happen in reality until you see it completed in life. And, you know, visualize yourself up on stage, you know, getting, you know, being recognized for being a qualifier. I think that's really important as well. So we'll just go on to the next thing, maybe. Okay. So this is pretending, you know. I think this is the really fun part of, you know, making things happen fast. I remember I went and saw Artemis Limpert speak in, it was probably 8 years ago, and then I bought some of her CDs and I listened to her CDs every now and again, and she talks about in a section there about pretending, and she went for this, she was in this competition, Body for Life Challenge, and her and her husband used to pretend every day for about 15 minutes about her actually winning the challenge. And so he'd go outside, he'd knock on the door and pretend he was the organizer of the competition, and he'd knock on the door and she'd answer the door and he'd say, you know, oh, congratulations, you're winner of the Body for Life Challenge. And so I always remember that, and I've tried to put that into practice a little bit too. And you know, you might feel like you're a bit of a silly Billy, but it's very, very powerful to do that, to actually pretend, and so you can get, I think I've got here, get your family involved in role playing, and so you know, have a discussion around the kitchen table and say, you know, that you did this at Mauritius today and you did that at Mauritius today, and you know, just have fun with it, and you know, imagine. You know, get your husband or your wife or your partner or someone to give you a ring and say, hey, you know, John McGuire here, you've just, you know, you've qualified for Mauritius or something, you know what I mean. So have fun with it and really pretend that you're actually, you know, you've actually won this amazing trip. I've got here, write a letter to your mum. You know, I think a good idea is to, so write a letter, whether it's to your mum or whether it's to your grandmother or someone that you would write a letter to, and make it as real as possible and date it, you know, October, whether you're writing it from Mauritius or whether you're writing the letter once you got home, and just, you know, explain and everything about your amazing 4 days with this amazing company, New Ways, and just really be very, spend a bit of time, how can I say, really getting involved, that you've actually won the trip, you've been on the trip, and now you're writing a letter to describe the trip to someone that you love. So I think that's very powerful. And once you've written that letter, then you can, read it every day, as a reminder, and get into the sounds and the smells and everything. Try and get your senses involved with this letter to your mum or whoever you're writing it to. Like I said, get your family involved with role playing. Learn everything you can about Mauritius. Get really involved in it, like it's actually there. And pretend that you've got, so you can use that towards Mauritius, but actually in the actual building of your business, pretend that you've got large team at events, even if at the moment that's not actually showing that you've got that team there, but actually pretend that they're there, and you don't have to do it out in front of everyone, but you could do with your friends or your upline or something like that. So it's really important to spend a little bit of time every day pretending that you've achieved your goal. And I mean, that's whether it's Mauritius or whatever, but today we're talking about Mauritius. So so that's pretty exciting. Okay, then the next one is to prepare. If you're going on a trip, then you've actually got to prepare for that trip. So number one, make sure your passport's right, and put your passport beside your bed so that you see it every day and every night, and maybe even stick like in the pages, like just get a photo of Mauritius or something, or just the writing of Mauritius, and put it in your passport and stick it beside your bed, and so that you've got your passport's ready and you're ready to go. Pack your suitcase and have it there, and have it sort of so that you have to step over it every day. Oh, there's there's my suitcase for Mauritius. So, and make sure that you've taken holidays from work. So actually, organise that time off, because you don't, if you're going on a holiday to all expenses paid holiday to Mauritius, then you've actually got to, if you work, then you've actually got to have taken those holidays from your work. Go to your travel agent and book an add-on, or so because you're only a short amount of time away from Africa, and but don't make sure the add-on's not for too long, because we've got a huge Madeira business to build when you get home. So also prepare yourself for the emotional roller coaster of it, and have things in place so that if emotional triggers that'll, if you're feeling off the rack, if you're not feeling the best because you've got a couple of no's, or you're feeling tired or whatever, you've got to have things that'll get you back in the right space, if you know what I mean. So you've got to be able to it is a roller coaster. There's heaps of ups and there's heaps of downs, and that's one of the laws of the universe, is that if you're going to have an up, then you've got to have a down. So you just got to be prepared for that. It's like, when you go to a convention and you're on a huge high and you come home, if you're not careful, you go into a big low. So what you do is you set up, before you go to convention or go to any event, you set up a whole heap of appointments for when you get home, so that you hit the ground running when you get home, and then you haven't got really time for that for the downside. People are going to say no, so learn to manage your disappointments. Learn, that put a price on every no. So if someone says no, you say, oh, thanks, I've just earned $1,000, or whatever it is to you. It doesn't matter whether it's a yes or a no. It's you've got to put a price on the no's, so that, and just say next please. So you actually got to learn, and you can bring your family into that too. So if you get a no, or you're feeling a bit down about a situation, make sure that your partner's there to lift you up and help you, or basically get over it. So that's prepare. So make sure you're prepared for Mauritius. It's an awesome, awesome holiday, and make sure that you're ready to go. Okay, so affirmations. This is my big one. You really have to affirm what you want. You've got to pound your subconscious mind with words of affirmation. Now, I'm a true believer in, if your mind is idle, so when I'm talking about idle mind, I mean, when you're hanging the washing out and your mind just you're not actually thinking about anything in particular. When your mind is idle, it will always go back to the old programming. It'll always go back to the old habits, you know, that have been programmed in for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever it is. So when your mind is idle, that's when you've got to be kicking in with affirmations like, I'm a Mauritius winner, I'm a Mauritius winner, I'm a Mauritius winner. And, you know, I know when I go out mustering, you know, whenever I'm coming up to a big goal, and I'll be out mustering or in the yard, you know, putting cattle through the yards, and all these times are, you know, your mind is idle, and if you're not careful, it can go back to the negative old programming. So what I do is I either set my alarm on my phone for 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes, and then I'll set it and it'll go for 10 minutes, and in that 10 minutes I'll use Mauritius as an example. I'll say, I'm a Mauritius winner, I'm a Mauritius winner, a Mauritius winner, Mauritius winner, Mauritius winner, Mauritius winner, just for 10 minutes, you know, I am a Mauritius winner, or whatever you feel comfortable. I'm a Diamond Adventure winner, or whatever, you know, whatever works for you. And then when the alarm goes off, or you know, might have to have a break for a couple of minutes, then I'll reset my alarm, and I'll say, I am the leader the people are looking for, I'm the leader the people are looking for, I'm the leader the people are looking for, or I'm the leader that people want to follow, you know, whatever it is. There's one down here at the bottom, success, victory and abundance, all three for me. Success, victory and abundance, all three for me, you know. So you actually got to pound that in. So, you know, my husband thinks I'm a bit weird doing this, but anyway, that's all good. You know, so for me, when I'm at home and doing stuff, I don't set my alarm. It's just when I've got long periods of time that I do that. But you know, say when I'm hanging out the washing, I'm saying my affirmations. When I'm packing the dishwasher, I'm saying my affirmations. When I'm, you know, when I'm cooking tea, if I'm not on the phone, I'm saying my affirmations. So what I'm trying to do is that when my mind is idle, it will go back. It'll go to the new programming about Mauritius, and you'll be visualising Mauritius the whole time. So if you sort of understand what I'm saying there. The other thing, you know, I have my list of affirmations that I say last thing I do before I go to bed, and the first thing I do before in the morning when I wake up. But this is a couple of things that I use. You know, when you go to use the phone and you're not feeling the best, I'll say before I make a phone call, I'm a spiritual and mental magnet attracting to myself all things that bless and prosper me. So it's, you know, it's putting it out there that I'm attracting good stuff that's going to bless and prosper me, you know. And going to Mauritius and people saying yes will prosper me for sure. Or, you know, I'm a Mauritius winner, same sort of thing. But it's just really pounding your subconscious mind so that you that your thoughts, because remember that thoughts become things. If thoughts become things and all you're thinking about all day is being a Mauritius winner, it has to come, you know, that's for sure. So, Susan, did you want to just add in anything here before I move on?
Visualising, I could share my own visualisation, and that is having everybody at Diamond Adventure. There's lots of special things you can start to visualise, and you're talking about all your affirmations and doing everything positive as well. And you spoke about going to a travel agent. Well, one of the really important things is going to be to actually register your intent to qualify. Because once you register your intent to qualify, we will then send you lots of information and continually update, which will help to keep you on track. And one of those will be we just have secured a local travel agent in Mauritius who has got some fantastic packages to add on. We've kept them around the 4 days because, as Tony said, it's really important we want to get back and get into building our Modair business. But there's some fabulous packages. You know, you can do a little go over Johannesburg, do a little safari, go relax in some overwater cabins at the Seychelles, or zip over to Madagascar. So, yeah, I agree with everything you're saying, Tony, and I'm excited.
Well, you just excited me then, Susan. That sounds awesome. So definitely, I didn't mention that, but definitely register your intent to go for sure. So that's good. Well, I'll continue on. So this is a really important one. Do not waver over intentions, but over methods. So basically, that means focus on what your intention is. So if your intention is clear, so if it is Mauritius you want to go to, if your intention is clear, then the mechanism will appear. You know, that mechanism is up the top there. It says methods. So it's, you know, if something doesn't work one way, stay in with your intention on and stay focused on your goal. You might have to go about it in a different way, or just change tack a little bit, if you know what I mean. So if this is really important, and if you can put this statement somewhere, and you can say, if my intention is clear, then the mechanisms will appear. And that also means that instead of going out and talking to people that say no, you might actually, if your intention is clear, then you'll go out and start talking to people that say yes, you know. And I think that's pretty important. Just another couple of little things here that I like to say to myself all the time. You know, head to order, heart to serve, feet to action. You know, in Born Rich, he talks about, Bob Proctor talks about, you know, order and movement. So you really need to get things in order, you know, so there's not clutter around that. And even if it's like, you know, making your bed in the morning, because that brings order. That's the first bit of order that happens in the morning, you know. And heart to serve, you know. We're here to serve people. We're here to, you know, one of my goals is service to millions, and that's what we're here to. We've got to have a heart to serve. We've got to have a heart to give, and feet to action. You know, just get out there and make the calls. Get out there and have that 20 seconds of courage to talk to someone that you might not want, you know, you might not have talked to before. So next one, you know, definitely give thanks in advance. You know, if you don't have a gratitude journal, or if you do have a gratitude journal and don't write in it, or you're pretty spasmodic about it, then I would definitely recommend that for the next 6 months you write in a gratitude journal every night. And I just wanted to share, you know, what I do with this is I just say, I'm so happy and grateful for everything in my life, and then I'll name off a few things that I'm grateful for throughout the day, maybe 10 things or something. And then I'll say, so giving thanks in advance. So then what I'll do is I'll say, I use thank you, Lord, but, you know, whatever you want to do. So I'll say, thank you, Lord, I am such and such. So if I was going for Mauritius, it would be, thank you, Lord, I am a Mauritius winner. And I might write that out 5 or 6 times, and then, you know, thank you, Lord, and then another one of my goals. So it might be a money goal. Maybe you need your check to be at $1,500 a month, or maybe you need your check to be at $1,000 a month. Then it'll be, thank you, Lord, I earn, you know, $1,000 a month. So that's just what I do, and it seems to work all right. But it's definitely about a daily discipline, making sure that you're doing it every single day. And, you know, what you can do is if you're on the phone and someone says yes, do a little happy dance and say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, you know. And if someone's, this is to yourself, you know, say thank you to them, but this is when you get off the phone and you're doing a happy dance and you're saying thank you. Like yesterday, I got a referral out of the blue. And, yes, I did a happy dance, a thank you. She signed up last night, you know, more thank yous. You can never say too many thank yous. And, you know, say thank you when you get a no. You know, I think that's really important too, because it doesn't matter, you know, what happened through your day, you've got to say thank you. And, you know, cocktails on the beach, that looks like a pretty good thing to say, give thanks for in advance. So that's very good. So the next one. Okay, so I've talked about some of the things that, you know, that will help speed up the goal, or winning the goal. And so I just want to, look, I know most of you on the call, on the webinar, will already know to do this, but I just want to run through what, you know, what to do. So, and I mean, make sure you go back to your upline diamond and see what they say. But I'm talking to my people, my team, and just saying, you know, in February and March, you know, have an expectation of 4 or 5 sign-ups front line, you know, and I'm saying 5 sign-ups. So that means that in the first 2 months, in February and March, you've had 10 frontline sign-ups. So you've actually ticked that off. You've got great momentum around that, and that's what you need to do. You need to get into momentum. And if I can just bring the example of Leith and Abigail a couple of years ago, you know, they took their check in February. They took their check from around about $100 up to, you know, around about $1,000 in 1 month because of the sign-ups they did. The frontline sign-ups, I think they did 10 or 12 frontline sign-ups. They all put in good orders. So it's getting that, ticking that off straight away. So, you know, I'm saying a minimum of 10, but, you know, 4 or 5 frontline sign-ups in February and March. You should really have identified your 3 executive legs by now, and you should be working with them to build numbers under them, you know, working with them to get 20 wide. But if you haven't identified those legs yet, because one of your frontline sign-ups in February and March might be, you can work with them to executive. But it's really about getting some numbers under your team, you know. Find out who wants to get their products for free or who wants to go to Mauritius. I mean, if you can find someone that wants to go with you to Mauritius, well, that's the key. You know, that'll make things a bit easier. But it's really working with those 3 legs. So what I suggest is, you know, you've got to split your week up into a couple of days. So maybe, you know, two days a week you work frontline. You work on signing up people frontline, or maybe 2 or 3 days a week. You know, it depends on whether you're part-time or how much time you can put into it. And then the rest of the week you work on your executive legs. So you're actually spending time, so you're not confusing them, if you know what I mean. So I think, you know, I think that's important. You know, the next thing is to increase your check, 5,000 from the same period last year. So, you know, you get your check from February, March, April, May, June, July from last year, add them up, add all those checks up together, put plus 5,000 on that, and then divide that by 6, and that'll give you a rough estimate of what your check's going to be. So that'll give you a bit of an idea of the affirmation. Now, of course, you know, if you haven't sort of started building too quick so far, you might, you know, you say if you need $1,000 a month, but your check's only at sort of 300 or 400. Well, it depends on how much work you do in February, but you know, you might be a little bit less in your first month and a little bit more in your second month. So that'll just give you a bit of an idea of the money that you need. You definitely need to be getting 12 legs ordering every month. That gets you multiplex. That'll put some more dollars in your check. So definitely it's a non-negotiable. Get 12 legs ordering every month. So if you get 5 frontline sign-ups, that means you only need to get 7 other legs ordering out of your group. So that'll give you something. And definitely to coach with your upline diamond. So, you know, that's really important. And, you know, it's like if you have a good day, you ring them up, excited, tell them about it. If you had a bad day, ring them up and say, you know, how can I improve? What can I do a little bit different? You know, ring them up in the morning and say, hey, look, I've got this plan today. The phone call that can only, you know, might only be 30 seconds or a minute long. You know, this is what I've got planned. I'm heading off to do it now. And your diamond can say, awesome, go for it. You know, so it's just a bit of a pat on the back and a you know, punch in the arm to get you out there and going. And I just wanted to, you know, we haven't got much more here, but if you believe, then you can qualify from anywhere. And I just wanted to use 3 examples of our team that went to Borneo. Now, Sandy and Grant on the left, that as you're looking at it, they had missed out the year before. So for those of you who went for Mauritius last year and just missed out, that's the situation where Sandy and Grant were in. But we were very strategic in getting them ready for when the next qualifying period went. They went Carquel Diamond. Sorry, they went Carquel, and then they went Diamond in May or June. Oh, forget. Sorry, but yeah. So they'd actually qualified really easy. Okay. Then you've got Beck and Blair, who all along, you know, they were focusing into the qualifying period and just did everything that needed to be done and qualified right on the dot. That was no worries. And then on the right-hand side, you've got Melissa and Scott, who came from nowhere. And I think this is what I just wanted to stress, is it doesn't matter where you are in your business now, or maybe you've never even started, because like Melissa had never even looked at Borneo as an option. She just wanted to get her products for free because they were big product users, and she wanted to get them for free, so she was referring a lot of people and doing, Beck was doing a lot of presentations for her, I was doing some presentations for her, and it wasn't until the last second, the last couple of weeks, last 3 weeks, that she decided to go for it and put in total focus over those 3 to 4 weeks. So I just wanted to share that, because it doesn't matter where you are in your business, you can qualify from anywhere. Okay? So we'll go to the next one. And as I always say, never give up. I've seen some amazing things, some amazing checks where people needed huge increase in their checks and never gave up, and they made it. So, yeah, Susan, I'll hand back to you, but I just, the best thing about Susan is she's been over to Mauritius several times organising this, and just some of the special treats and stuff that New Ways always put on is just amazing. You will be spoilt rotten in Mauritius, and you'll get to be spoilt rotten with some of the best people in the world, and that's corporate as well as our fantastic leaders in the New Ways business. So, Susan, I hope that, yeah, did you want to share anything?
Oh, look, thank you, Tony, to start with. It's, if you take all of that on board, what you've just said, there's no way nobody can get there. And it really is a trip worth making. It's travelling, from the word go, it's travelling as a VIP, because you don't have to lift a finger from everything. All you've got to do is get yourself to the airport to start your trip, because everything's arranged for you. You arrive, you're greeted, everywhere you go. So it really is not to be missed. It's a VIP trip, and it's always exciting and fun. It's not worth going if it's not a lot of fun. You have to have a bit of relaxation in between, but you can't miss out on that fun. And we make them, and we try to make it different wherever we can. And I know anyone who went to Borneo was surprised with a plane trip across to the other side of the island to meet the bears and the orangutans. Now, there won't be any plane trips off to Africa this time. I can tell you that. However, it doesn't mean they're saying there won't be a little bit of animal interaction that may be there, maybe just a little bit differently to what you might be imagining. We're going to have some really special evening functions because the settings are just gorgeous. And I guess I can say what you will be needing is a white outfit for one of these evenings. So there you go. You can get that ready. There's part of that, the positive steps forward is get that white outfit ready, because you will definitely be needing one of those. And I've made a few notes as we went here, Tony, and you said along there, diamonds aren't really special people. But you know what? They are special people, and the New Ways diamonds are so special, and I guess that's what makes them so approachable. So it's really important.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant, we're not.
I know you did. I know. So we also have a few secret plans through your qualifying time to actually add some inspiration and some support to help you all achieve every single month. So jump in, like Tony said, and go for it. Tony, thank you so much. Have you got anything to add?
No, I just I really want to say that what the effort and stuff that you and the team put in towards just creating just an amazing holiday. Like I love, I'm a bit of a scared traveller. Pete and I are a bit of a scared traveller, but I love travelling with New Ways because, you're in such a positive group of people, and you can, you can hang around with a whole heap of people, or you can, you know, go off and do your own thing. But you won't want to be going off and doing your own thing. You want to hang on everyone's word, because this will really explode your business. Number one, qualifying for Mauritius will explode your business, but actually spending time with, you know, $1 million earners will explode your business too. So, yeah, thank you for that, and you know, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to share some insights.
Tony, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being on the call, and we'll see you in Mauritius.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Bye.